What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about these guys, the Rincon 2s. Let's get right to it. Alright, so right away, the Rincon 2 is an amazing shoe. I bought these with my own money. They were not sent to me, and even if they were, I would tell you the truth anyway. So these are my thoughts, and it's a great shoe. I love it. I ran in the Rincon 1, let's see, I had 3 pairs of them. It was one of my favorite Hoka or favorite road shoes ever. I just love the shoe. So when they were releasing the 2, I was cautiously optimistic that they wouldn't change it too much. They listened. So this shoe is very similar to the Rincon 1 with a couple of exceptions, which we'll get to here in just a minute. But by and large, if you liked the Rincon 1, you're gonna like the Rincon 2, plain and simple. All right, let's get right to some details. All right, so first I like to talk about looks because, you know, we want to run in a shoe that looks pretty good. And I think this looks pretty good, at least this colorway here. I think it's a good looking shoe. You know, the colorways that they have offered for the 2 are not as a whole as good as the Rincon 1 were, in my opinion. But this particular one here is nice, and they have plenty of other colors out there for you, whatever you like, you know, red, blue, and crimson and black, I think is what they call it, or many colors, so lots to choose from. Okay, moving on to the upper. So the upper has changed. The Rincon 1 was a single layer mesh. This is now a redesigned engineered mesh. It is thicker, so that's one of the drawbacks of this shoe. I think so. Durability wise, this is probably going to be a little bit more durable and last a little longer, but the breathability. So the Rincon 1 had this single layer mesh here, and it's so much more pliable. It's thinner. I mean, if you hold it up to the light, I can literally see through it right now looking at my light. It breathes much better. So in a hot environment, this is fantastic. These are still pretty good. I haven't worn them in heat yet, but they do breathe pretty well. I cannot see through them at all looking through the upper. It's definitely thicker. But with that, you know, it is comfortable, the upper. You know, it feels good on your foot. I haven't noticed any hot spots anywhere. There's plenty of volume inside. It's just a pretty good upper. The tongue is not gusseted at all. It's not attached on either side. It's not thick, but it's not thin either. It's plenty thick to provide some comfort when you're lacing up and you're tying your shoes, so you're not gonna, you know, hurt the top of your foot, basically. And of course, they do have the other eyelet up here, so you can do the runner's knot if you would like to as well. The heel lock in the shoe, as far as getting your laces snug down and having a good, comfortable fit, is good with these shoes. You know, I'm not gonna lie though, personally, I wear these pretty loose when I'm on the road, unless I'm gonna do a real fast run. But by and large, they fit really well. You can really get a good lockdown on there, and it's comfortable. There's a lot of good padding around here. It's not excessive like some companies' heel cup area, but it has enough to give you a lot of good comfort for those long days. Okay, and moving on to the midsole. So the midsole is a EVA. It's what Hoka uses. It's a good responsive foam, very cushioning. This shoe is incredibly comfortable. I think you can wear this thing for, you know, long runs. I personally have worn it up to, well, I wore it for a 50K actually. So you can wear it for a 50K, marathon, long, easy days. You can do it for recovery runs. So it is a 5mm drop. We've got a 29mm stack in the rear, 24 in the front for that 5mm drop. But then the great thing about this midsole as well is it has a little bit of, not a lot of responsiveness because it is a cushioned shoe, but it has that meta rocker, which helps give you a little bit of that roll off for that acceleration. So if you want to use this for tempo days, if you want to do intervals, fartleks, any kind of speed work, this is a versatile shoe that can do that for you. So if you want a shoe that you can go easy, hard, race in, whatever, I mean, this will do it all. So that's a big plus there for the Hoka Rincon 2. If you compare the midsole to the Rincon 1, you can see it's identical. It's the same. I mean, it looks exactly the same. There's no difference I see whatsoever in the actual design of it. All the grooves, everything is the same. So yeah, it's the same shoe. And moving on to the outsole of the shoe, again, it's pretty much the same as the Rincon 1. If you look at those there, they have the rubber in the same places essentially. I mean, it looks, I'm pretty certain it is identical. With that said, on this outsole, this is not a shoe that's designed to last 500, 700 miles. It's just not going to happen. I have one pair of Rincon 1s that I got 440 miles out of, which is kind of rare from what I've seen online. I think durability wise, these are going to last in that 300 to 400 range on average. Between the 3 pairs that I have, I've got the one over 400, then the other 2 are in that 380 range. And I just retired one that was around 350 just because it felt dead in the forefoot. So the 2s I'm expecting the same because it's the same midsole, same outsole. I mean, it's going to be the same. So if you like the Rincon 1, you're going to like the Rincon 2. The ride, the feel, and the traction. I mean, these are going to be fine in rain. I've even worn these in light snow. I've actually worn the Rincon 1s on trail as well, and they did pretty well on a buffed out trail. But the outsole, you know, it's rubber here on these foot pods here essentially. Then this is all just exposed EVA. So if you hit some sharp rocks, you'll probably feel them. And finally, let's talk about the price of the shoe. So originally on the Rincon 1, it was 115 bucks. And I was happy to see that it's still $115 for the Rincon 2. You can get these any of the shoe stores, wherever you want. And it's, you know, it's a good price for this shoe because it's something that you can do, like I said, those long runs, those tempo runs, speed work, easy days. So to have a shoe that can do all of that pretty darn well for 115 bucks, that's a steal. I think that's a great price for it. One interesting thing that's kind of a negative or a con for the Rincon 2 is it actually weighs more than the Rincon 1, about ½ an ounce, give or take. All right, so let's weigh this right now. This is a men's size 11, and the Hoka Rincon 2 weighs 8.8 ounces in men's size 11. The Rincon 1, well, this one has around 300 miles, so I've got some of the rubber worn off, some of the EVA is worn off as well, so it's going to be a little bit different as well, obviously. All right, so the Rincon 1 is 7.7 ounces. So, shoot, that's almost a whole ounce lighter. But I think a lot of that is the upper, because the upper is now, like I said, on the 2, it's that engineered mesh, not this thin single layer. So I think that's got to be where the weight comes from. So continuing on the cons for the shoe, we have the weight, the breathability has changed. I consider that a con. I'm also going to add to that con list the durability, but that's nothing different from the 1. It's just the same problem that the shoe has. But the other con is just I guess a personal nitpick for me, but I mean, come on, Hoka. Do we really need a shoelace this stinking long? I mean, this is ridiculous. When I tie my shoes, I don't have a big foot, like as far as, you know, wide or a thick volume to it. I mean, you can see how I lace them right here. It's pretty tight. But when I tie these up, I mean, I have to pull it all the way down to where it's literally touching the ground, basically. It's just a lot of excess shoelace for me. So that's a con for me. And the pros for the shoe, like I said, it's going to be the weight. I know I said that's a con as well, but it's also a pro because this one at what 8.8 ounces, that's still a lightweight daily trainer tempo shoe. If it's a good shoe weight for, you know, your daily use, and that's men's size 11, by the way. And then of course the comfort is a huge pro for me. It's just a really comfortable shoe. I like to take these out for my easy days or kind of like an endurance pace run. For tempo work, I do use other shoes now, but these also work for that really well. And so going along with that versatility, that's the other pro, is it's just such a versatile shoe. I think you can do everything with this shoe. So if you're a runner on a budget and you want to get one pair of road shoes to do all of that, this is going to be a fantastic choice. I think you will be incredibly happy with the shoe. Alrighty, that's going to do it for the Rincon 2. It's a fantastic shoe. If you really liked the Rincon 1, you're going to like the Rincon 2. If you can find the Rincon 1 in your size still on clearance, I would just buy that, honestly. You know, there's not a lot of improvements. The upper is kind of an improvement, but also not, because it doesn't breathe as well. So if you don't have the Rincon 1 in your size, then get the Rincon 2, because it's still a great shoe. But I would save the money and get the Rincon 1. All right, well, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, if you want to give the video a thumbs up, that would be much appreciated. It just helps my channel and this video out a whole lot. And if you're new as well, if you want to go ahead and click the subscribe button, that would also be much appreciated. Just continue to help the channel grow. And you'll see more videos from me, like when I do more shoe reviews or watch reviews, things like that. So anyway, thank you for watching. I do appreciate all of you. If you want to take a look at the Hoka Rincon 1 review, it's going to be right over here on this side of your screen. And then over on this side will be a playlist of some trail running videos, so you can go check out some beautiful trails. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.